Hello everyone, welcome along to the Redmen Originals podcast with me, Paul Machin and Steve Hoare. But also, we've got Josh Williams and Sam Walker with us as well, which is just brilliant, if I'm being perfectly honest. An absolutely amazing team, drafted in at short notice, devastated with their life decisions that have brought them to this point, but here they are. Well done, Steve. Well done for pulling it out the bag.
I've managed to assemble a good squad here, haven't I? It's like the Avengers. Yeah,
the Avengers.
Shame we're not talking about a win, but yeah, we've got illness and holidays and all kinds going on, so we've couldn't really get two better guests.
I thought we were here to talk about our Tuesday footy, to be honest. Not
I'm
off.
I think I prefer to talk about that.
So I genuinely had this thing. I was writing something about the match yesterday, and remembered that when we were crapping like 4-5, I had to start playing five-a-side again because Liverpool weren't giving me my footy fix. I needed some semblance of control, and I'm like, I'm finally, after like 5 years, having a painkiller injection in my back on Monday, and it's make or break. It's too late for my real career, but it might resurrect my ability to like save my happiness with sport.
There's still time for that paddle career, mate.
There's still time for the
Sam's indoor cricket team. We're class, top of the league at the minute. We're flying.
Amazing. Well, someone's got to get some joy from somewhere. Hopefully, we can help provide a little bit to guys. If nothing else, let's have a little bit of a therapy session before we delve into Liverpool's latest defeat. I want to put your attention to our partnership with oosh.co.uk. They have got a draw happening tomorrow for hospitality tickets to Liverpool versus PSV Eindhoven. If you use the code Redmen, you get 20% off a ticket entry to that as well. Use the link in the description. Underneath, you're going to get 2 tickets. You get access to the hospitality lounge, which means you get to see a legend there as well, and they get a one-night stay in an apartment in Liverpool and £200 spend money. It's amazing. To be perfectly honest, just 36 of the 299 sold, so you've got some pretty damn good odds for that, and of course they reduced the ticket price by using the code Redmen at checkout as well. So yes, thanks so much to our partners for doing that, and a draw happening tomorrow, so you can be in that draw and you can be at that game as well. So yeah, get involved. Right. Also our Christmas jumpers. Damn it, I was meant to get it. It's over there. They are available. They are available in very, very limited numbers if you head to redmenmerch.com. They are sensational. I'm very aware that nobody really wants, to think about the future at the moment. But what I will say is, and I've got
that's the thing about the past, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Let's look at some of the past and then imagine ourselves in this. Look at this absolute beauty. You could be. Look, hopefully Liverpool have turned it around by Christmas. Thanks, Sam. Hopefully Liverpool have turned it around by Christmas. But if they haven't, at least you can cry into your mince pie, looking amazing. So head to redmenmerch.com. There we go. Thank you so much, Sam. It is an absolute belt. It is the best looking Liverpool themed Christmas jumper that's ever existed, and we've done some very good ones over the years. And yeah, it does celebrate the fact that currently Liverpool are the reigning champions.
It probably won't go out, I think, next Christmas either. That's 20 on the back of it, and I had you 5 for 2 years out of that.
2 seasons for the price of one in that one. So yeah, head to redmenmerch.com and grab one of our 95, 2017 and 2022 away. Inspired. Liverpool Christmas jumper. So yeah, boss. Right. Sorry everyone, we have to do it. Brentford 3. Liverpool 2. Here we go again. Just when we thought it was safe to go out in the water. No. Big Brentford shaped shark come to bite us and make us feel pain.
Yeah, and if maybe to carry on the analogy, the win in Germany made us feel a bit safer stepping into said water. Maybe we went in there without the life jacket on or something, because we ended up in pretty deep water pretty quick. This was the worst of them. Liverpool have lost 5 of 6, and this was the worst performance, I think, of all of them.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it was dreadful. And I think it was...
I think Slot said the same, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it was really... In those other games, they were tight for the most part. There was periods where we weren't great, but there was periods where we weren't... I was never questioning the character or the bottle or that kind of stuff of the players, and unfortunately I think, on Andy Robbo's post-game comments kind of put that to them as well, is that Liverpool just got done in really. Again, all these defeats have been by the odd goal, and some of them have been that close in terms of the games. I don't think this was that close. I think the 3-2 flatters was more than a flatters Brentford, so yeah, I thought it were dreadful, to be honest with you, pretty much all the way through.
I really now, it's been so long, Josh, because it's basically been this entire season with a couple of exceptions where Liverpool have been definitively good, because I think there's been loads of spells in the games we've lost where I think we've been quite good, and we'll come on to that in this game, because I don't totally agree with that sentiment. But to be winning and playing well is not something we've done loads of, throughout the season. So I've forgotten almost what it feels like. So my fear is that I'm like clutching for stuff, and I'm almost over accentuating when things are looking quite good in terms of how we're playing, because I don't know. Obviously, we conceded another stupidly easy goal very early on in the match, which totally frames everything that follows. But I don't know. The first half an hour of the first half, certainly, I quite enjoyed a lot of how Liverpool played, but it's always under the shadow of you chasing a game of football.
Well, I think that's the problem. I did a podcast recently, and I said to the people I was on with, do you think Liverpool look like title winners? And there was like a weird, 6-second pause. and a few people went like, well, we look good in the first half against Everton. Well, we look good in the second half against Burnley. And that's not what title winners look like. No. That is clutching in a way. And I think if we have looked good at times, it's been in spells. It hasn't been consistently for, never mind the period of 2 games. It's never even been for a full 90 minutes, really, has it? And I always think, you know how far you've stooped when people get to the point where all's the craving is just a few duels. Just win a few duels, please. Yeah. Like, initially, if you lose 1 or 2 games, it's like, we lost because of this tactic or the referee or, Salah missed a few shots or something. But when you get to the point where all you want is to put a foot in, that's when you know you're in crisis point. Yeah, and I think that's where we are.
This is where Hannibal comes through at United type situations where you want a kid to come in and show them how it's done. That kind of nonsense. That was
Bajcetic a few years ago.
Yeah, it was,
Bajcetic just came in, and I think it was Wolves away, and he just kicked a few people, and everyone was like, he's amazing. And he starts 5 games in a row or something, and then he cripples us back in the process, and we haven't seen him since. But that desire to win a duel is now very online, and I think it just illustrates how far we've fallen in the past few weeks.
I think you're right, because we've been here before. Like, we're all old enough to remember Liverpool not being good and for consistent periods during the season. So I think Josh is right. There's a bunch of stuff that it all follows in cycles. And it's because it's right. We're all looking for a solution, and we'd all like it to be as simple as drop one lad in here or drop another thing in here. But it goes back to my point. I feel so far removed from us being that good. I can't really remember now what it looked like when we were playing really, really consistently well, because you don't really think about it when it's working. It's only when it's not working that you have to start trying to delve into it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fine margins in football, and until this weekend, I agree with a lot of what Slot said. There's a lot of games last year we won 2-0, 1-0, 3-1, whatever, and the other team maybe did have half a chance, missed the target. Alisson makes a good save, but then you forget that because we have the ball 65% of possession. Salah scores a worldie and sets someone up. So I think those games are quite similar to maybe a Chelsea or even a United. But the difference is we just score 2 of the chances, and that chance they have doesn't go in. It is that close. But I think this weekend was sort of like the bottom of where we've been recently. And I feel like we did lose out on a lot of the basic things. So, but no matter what we say, the thing is, any game plan that you've got against the types of teams you've been losing to goes completely out the window when you're 1-0 down inside the first 10 minutes. Yeah. No matter, that's what they want. They want to be 1-0 up and defend it with all their lives, and we're just giving it to them.
Four games in the run.
6 on the spin, we've gone 1-0 down.
And 4 in the first 15 minutes. The last 4 Premier League games, Liverpool have been 1-0 down, but before 15 minutes. And you can't just keep relying on the attackers. And Liverpool are scoring goals. In pretty much every game, we'll score goals. We create chances, not all going in. But that's an easier pill to swallow. We just can't defend. It's as simple as that. It's too easy to score against us. It's too easy to get chances. And that's been the entire season, really. It's only pretty much Arsenal and Galatasaray where you say that wasn't the case. And then Frankfurt in midweek, which is a completely different game.
Probably Everton as well.
Second half, Everton did have chances, though. They had a few. And this is the problem, is that we had Alisson at the start of the season making miracles to keep us down to just conceding 2. Or just, and that's the thing. And now he's gone and we've got a good goalkeeper. We haven't got the best goalkeeper in the world anymore. So it's too, Like you mentioned the first goal, that's just easy. Like that isn't hard. That's a throw, header, flick on goal. The second goal is one pass down the middle. Like that is too easy for a champion team to be able to be that easy to score against. That just can't happen. And the paradox comes, of course, when you start looking at who is top of the league and how well they're defending. It's massive. It's a massive priority. And I'm always in favour of Liverpool being a front foot team, an attacking team. I'd rather that. I'd rather watch that. That's more enjoying to play. But my God, you can't be that and then just be constantly chasing your shadow. Like say 6 games in a row, the other team have scored the first goal. It's bizarre.
But the thing I just found a bit mad, Josh, is it wasn't. I felt like we'd hit upon something in midweek, and I don't think. Look, it's always worth remembering that Frankfurt and Brentford are significantly different teams, and Frankfurt were doing to us what every team in the Premier League has done to us this season, which is be loads more direct. Yes, they had a similar sort of approach. You know, they're putting 5 at the back, and lining up and trying to stop us getting to the box, etc. But I looked at what we had, and if midweek was even though it wasn't balanced in a traditional sense, you know, because Frimpong starts the game basically high up on the right when we're in possession, and Gakpo's mirroring him on the opposite side. Well, that's your left winger and your right back doing that thing. The way it settled in, it was a visible, obvious structure that gave us enough numbers to cover things where it broke down, but enough people to cause problems in attack. And this felt a little bit to me like, I don't know, like he kind of went, okay, that was cool. Anyway, back to the thing we were doing before that wasn't really working. And so for me, the good stuff that came from the game actually was that I think Jones, Szoboszlai, Wirtz played well in midfield in terms of moving the ball around and looking energetic and all that kind of stuff, which they did in midweek. But everything else around it just, I don't know. And I don't know whether that's again Slot going, well, that's how I'm going to play in Europe, or that only works when I've got Isak and I've got Frimpong available to try to have something. It felt a bit daft to me that we didn't at least try to be a bit more like that again.
Yeah, I think the big takeaway I had from the midweek game was the Jones-Szoboszlai kind of axis. I thought that worked really well. I thought we had control of the game and we pressed them really well too, although they just, as you say, they didn't go long, so they allowed us to press them with the ball on the ground. We could squeeze them, we could smother them. Brentford were never going to play like that. And on top of that as well, you can bench Salah at once, sound. It could be a rest. You can get away with it. If you bench him 2 games in a row, then it's a story. Yeah. So Salah was always going to come back into the team. He was going to come back into the team where Wirtz played. So Wirtz would have had to move. Frimpong got injured. I think Isak got injured in Frankfurt as well, didn't he? So the ability to keep going with whatever you struck upon was never going to be, mainly because of Salah for me, but
that for me is mad because Isak was out, so there's an easy stick Salah in there, and maybe a little bit.
You mean in the centre?
Yeah. And then you don't have to acquiesce madly once a game for the player.
I go back to what you said though, Josh. Frankfurt, you could press Frankfurt, so you could go with a 4-4-2. If you have 2 strikers up front against Brentford, from a attacking point of view, it makes perfect sense. From a defensive point of view, and you're short in them numbers, they're just going to go long ball, second ball, and you're going to be outnumbered in there.
We are with Salah anyway.
And that's the thing, is like both things are kind of like. The manager, for example, is speaking after the Frankfurt game. Was like, oh yeah, they play well, but the opposition passed the ball around and didn't go long. We've had 150 odd long balls against us this season, so I think it's in his head a little bit now as well, and so it should be, because his team are very good at dealing with it. So, I think I would have started 4-4-2, but I'm with Josh. It becomes a massive issue because I wouldn't have played Salah. I'd just put Keys with Ekatike, but
against Brentford,
yeah, but it becomes a story. You haven't rested Mo Salah. You've benched Mo Salah, and that's easy for us to say this as a supporters. I think that is a difficult decision for a manager to make. He might have to end up making it soon. But that, I think that does definitely play into it.
Has Mo put his Twitter header back yet?
No, probably not. He scored a very good goal later on.
We'll come to
that. I would love to know, and we'll never know this, if Alexander Isak was fit, would it have been 4-4-2? And we'll never know.
But that goes back to the point. If you're saying, well, you guys to move to where Wirtz was, well, he won't. He's not going to do that, is he? Because Wirtz, and I know, we keep saying 4-4-2. It wasn't 4-4-2. It was 4-4-2 for about 5 minutes in the whole game because we had so much of the ball. But you don't expect to see in those first 10 minutes of the football match. Vert goes back and out Frimpong out, wins the ball, comes away with it. No one's really expecting to see Mo Salah do that. Well, that's fine. That's fine if we know that Mo Salah's going to do that. It just, for me, felt like, well, you've opened up an opportunity because Isak didn't go to the right or go to the left or drop deep. He played centre forward and let Ekitike do the running around him and let, Gakpo do the running and Frimpong and later Bradley and Vert, etc. You could, I don't know. And the thing that's been rattling around my brain is, and with this just a general musing, we always talk about Klopp's 4-3-3 and we always talk about the Man City away game where we blitzed them and Firmino centre forward and you're like, wow. But we talk about that because we know that was the start of something, but we didn't really feel that at the time. It was just an exciting thing. And then it kind of went back in the box and we went back to 4-2-3-1 for a bit. And then we brought it out periodically. And that's almost my annoyance with this, Josh. Is I don't know whether what we did in midweek is what he really wants, or was it just something he's tinkering with? And you can't know because it does feel annoying when, ultimately you've done something that worked regardless of the opponent and to go back to
this is the big thing for me. The big struggle is I struggle to see what the way home is. If you look at the group of players we've got, especially the players we've signed, and you want them all on the same pitch at once, finding a way in which they're all thriving, I think is really difficult to imagine because there's so many clashing profiles in there. Like Isak and Ekitike are clones, and they both favour the left anyway. I think Vert skews towards the left a little bit as well. You've got flying fullbacks, but you haven't got a midfield department of Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum anymore. You've got players who want to play. You've got players who want to be expressive, sometimes ahead of the ball and stuff. So to find a cohesive unit of 11 players that complement each other, I can't see it. It's mad to say because we've spent £400 million, but it feels to me like a bit of a transfer window fix to me, where you've tampered with the squad, almost bought the wrong ingredients, and you need to go back to shop and you need to kind of balance the recipe again, because I don't think there's lots of different combinations you can play with, lots of different formations you can play with, but I just look at the unit.
There's always one who's not right.
There's always someone who's doing something that is alien to them. Right. There's always someone who's playing on the side that he wouldn't usually pick, or maybe he's sitting deeper when in reality he's a proper overlapper and he wants to do that. So yeah, it is a bit messy.
You could change the system a bit, but again, it's hard to do in the middle of the season when you get no training. In that, you're talking about Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. I can see a Jones, Wijnaldum style, Szoboszlai doing the energy running of Henderson, and Gravenberch having that class. Again, all very different, but they're different enough to balance together in front of a back four, and then you could have a fluid front three of Verts and the two strikers. You've seen it happen before, and I would go back, but the team that we played and beat on penalties in Istanbul and played again in 2007, they played that almost like that diamond. It doesn't have to be a diamond, but they had two forwards who sometimes ran the split channels between the defender, the centre-backs and the full-backs. The full-backs overlapped really well and stayed behind the ball when they needed to, and the defensive midfielder dropped in between the two. But that requires a huge change, and what you're effectively saying by doing that is Gakpo and Salah redundant in the team. I think the biggest problem this season is Mo Salah. I think that you go into a season expecting Mo Salah to be Mo Salah, and when he's 50% of that, if that, I think you've got a major issue there. I think that's what it is.
Do you know what it reminded me of? And I hate this, because when you come up with a thought on an opinion on something, and then it's quite easy to find supporting material for it. So you'll plug it, confirmation bias is what it's called. I hit upon this idea in the last couple of weeks of Salah at 33, as much as he looks super fit, everyone goes Cristiano Ronaldo, but at 33 he leaves Real Madrid, and he goes to Juventus and he's brilliant, but Serie A is not La Liga, and Juventus are not thrilled with having him, even though he's scoring loads of goals, etc., etc. And that goal for Mo, and I'm so pleased he got it, because I think he needs it, and I really hope that it just is something that's a catalyst for him to just really give it a huge sort of push. But it reminded me loads of Ronaldo in the when we battered United at Old Trafford, and he has a goal offside, and he got that thing where if he'd stuck that in, he could almost go, well, I've done the thing that I'm here to do. And I'm not saying Salah has that exact attitude, but it did remind me a little bit of going, well, we got beat. it's great. It is great. It genuinely is great that Salah's good, but I'm now leaning more towards I'd rather him be great for 90 minutes and not score than him really struggle for 90 minutes but stick a worldie in, because I don't think we need that. We need both, to be perfectly honest. But if I had to choose, I'd rather have the Salah that works his bollocks off for 60 minutes and gets dragged off the pitch, crawls off the pitch, Adam Lallana style, into the manager's arms, than the one who sticks a brilliant goal in. So yeah, I don't like that notion, but it's.
I've had the same thought for what it's worth. Yeah. I think you've got that superstar dynamic with him, sadly, at the moment, which was inevitable when you were giving him the new contract, because he's getting on. He's the highest paid player, and I think the older someone gets, especially like a superstar, I think the more they focus more and more on like one thing, as opposed to like contributing across the board. Salah now is just kind of a goals merchant, a bit like Ronaldo became. I think Salah's a bit more creative than Ronaldo. But generally, if he doesn't actually deliver with a return, you're basically carrying him, and there's nothing else really. And if you drop him because he's out of form, it's a story. If you give him 10 minutes at the end of a game, he's fuming about it, and he unfollows you off Instagram and that, doesn't he?
Not good, is it?
So it's messy. This is the downside of giving an ageing star a new contract.
We did it with Gerrard. We all sat through 14-15, where Henderson was starting more games, taking the captain's armband, and you had to watch Gerrard. I remember looking through when we were doing the Jordan Henderson documentary in the book, and I was looking for photographs, because there's a couple of famous-ish ones of the armband being handed over between the two of them and stuff like that. And there was one that came up was I think we played Stoke maybe in Anfield, and Gerrard's on the bench and he's warming up. Because in the league, our players warm up in front of the away fans, and they're giving him loads of shit, and he's having to give it back and all that. But that was what it becomes. It becomes a spectacle, a sideshow to everything you're doing. And good players age gracefully and carry on and able to continue to contribute in different ways. But yeah, it's awkward at the minute. My
lingering doubt about the season now come from the fact that, and Salah's a little bit of part of this issue, is that the Premier League has gone a certain way this year. It's gone back to old school English football, long throws, second balls, corner kicks, powerful physical teams who all have to run back and defend, and we got the best out of Mo Salah last year by basically cheating. Like he didn't do any of that. Like it was up to Alexander-Arnold, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Bradley to cover out, and because he was scoring every week an assist, and that was fine. And teams were still trying to play footy. It was only Arsenal really were doing the set piece thing a bit. The Premier League's gone a different way now, and you can't carry people. And so either Salah's got to change his game, and he's going to have to do some of this stuff, or we're going to have to figure out what life looks without him, which is a shame, because he is our greatest ever player, arguably. And I just don't think you can have passengers in the Premier League anymore. I don't think no one cheats. Like even City now, I've got Haaland dropping in, popping it off, doing bits of work and stuff. He was doing last year, just stood up there on his own, and City were all
12 touches in a match, 3 goals, gets off at 70 minutes. But the
thing is with Haaland, though, he's also a groch.
That's my point. If you look at the Premier League is just pace and power and physicality and running and smash mouth football and in the summer, we built a finessed football team, and it feels like the league's all gone left, and we're over here. And for us to win, we're going to have to be amazing at that. We're going to have to out-football the land of the giants and the lands of... Because I'll tell you now, if at any point in this season, any manager plays against Liverpool and starts playing it off from the back, unless you are... Maybe City, actually, to an extent, or like Real Madrid in a couple of weeks' time, their fans are going to go absolutely bananas. Because why would you? Why would you do that?
But this leads into the long throws and the set pieces and the direct football. Because Slot's saying, and the problem is when you're losing, you sound like you're whinging, because of course no one actually watches them say it. They just read the quotes and go, God, people teams keep changing the way they play against us, and you read it like he's having a big old whinge. He's not. He's factually correct, but also cool. You know, he made his name last season. Like, he wowed the players with his mystic Meg-like ability to predict what the other team was going to do. And, like, great. But, like, you now know, mate, they're going to do this. Most of these teams are going to do this. So what are you doing to counteract it? And the one thing, there's just a little daft one for me. I wish I could remember the team it was. But let's just say it's Stoke, Rory Delap Stoke, for an example. You would bust a gut, you would fight tooth and nail not to concede a fucking throw-in within 40 yards of the dead ball line.
We get them 2 in 5 minutes.
Honestly, genuinely, like, even if it's just like, you can't really keep it in, but you panically try and volley it down the line, anything. And it was a bit like, it was Bradley, and it was miscontrol, and it goes out. But he didn't look annoyed or worried. It was a bit like, well, that went wrong. I'd be like, you should be like, shit. Because I've been coached within an inch of my life and told one simple instruction, like, if you concede, if you've got to empty it, fucking empty it, but do not concede throw-ins in our third, because it's problematic, and we don't look like a team that's trying not to definitely do that.
Well, if you go even go back to the Palace game with Kirkers, he decides I don't trust me right foot to kick it straight back down the pitch because I don't know where it'll go. So I'll whip it out my left foot and we'll get set. Now, in any other walk of life and coaching that you've ever done since when you were 6 years old, or up to being a professional footballer at the top level, international football, that's the right thing to do. But unfortunately, this Premier League is telling us now that it's not, because you've got these guys who can launch the ball to your 6-yard line. And just to give Brentford a bit of credit here, because I think you've got to look at it both teams' eyes here. The first throw-in that they took, Van Dijk was straight up and on it. Yeah. The second throw-in that they took wasn't towards where Van Dijk was standing. It was where Ekitike was standing. So for me, and I think this is, I hear some nonsense from people saying, is that there can be a goal that you can't stop sometimes. So Ekitike isn't as good in the air as I am. He just isn't. It's like Van Dijk winning a flick on at the front post. Once that ball's been let go towards you, then more often than not, you're not going to win the header. And the flick on was perfect. It couldn't have been more set for Ouattara to just whip his left foot round. Yeah. Now, as a left back, Kirkers playing second ball, you can't just squeeze up to him like that. He kind of does what you're supposed to do. You give enough room to attack it if it's second ball in the air. But as you just said there, Paul, the naivety to just allow us to be in those positions. Why didn't Bradley just kind of like knee the ball 5 yards further up the pitch? He lets it hit his thigh and goes out. Do you remember in the first half, Mamardashvili comes out and he just side foot it into the same spot as where he scored the goal? What are you doing, lad?
Like,
whip it 10 yards further forward.
Jones at the end stopped them getting a corner and give them a throw in, and I want them to give them a corner.
Yeah, agree. It's a lot easier.
Have you seen this lad throw? Yeah. He's like fucking, he's like launching rockets into our box.
Exactly.
It's just sometimes you just
we don't concede directly from corners very often. It's usually the second ball.
But that's what I mean. You don't give Arsenal corners. Yeah, so by all means, cool. But like other teams, they don't give these bricks.
I think that first goal, right, the angle of the throw makes it. The first one's like a straight throw. The second one's an arrow in. I think that's hard to defend, and I think it's really good from Brentford, and you've got to give them credit.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But also, I do believe that I see your point on Ekitike's there.
He's got to do better.
No, but also I do think, and Liverpool have done this at times, you can just have a spare defender whose job is to go and head the ball. And Liverpool did this with Van Dijk against Newcastle. At certain points, at the end they were trying to launch balls in, and Van Dijk, it didn't matter where he was just running, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it didn't matter, you can kind of forego, it's a zone. No. Like, your best header is go get first contact on the ball, and I find it baffling that Virgil can do, and it's not his fault, he's doing what he's coached. Just stand there and let, with all due respect, your centre forwards
who's 22, 23.
It's a bit like when we have McAllister, Martin Dan Bailey.
Yeah, look, I go both ways on it. Like, Darwin would be heading that all day long. You know,
that's
very good at doing that thing.
Knowing your players.
Yeah, but not even that. But Ekitike's he's 6 foot,
fucking
6'5" or whatever. Like,
I think he's brilliant. He's got to learn. He's garbage in the air. Yeah. Isak's really good at that. That might be the thing I've been most impressed with. Isak is defending his front post. £125 million defending your front post. But like, it's having the wrong people again. That's just, it goes back to the planning.
But that's the centre forwards. That's where what I'm saying is that's where the centre forward is, and also the fact that he's massive. He should just win his header, and when he doesn't win his header, then
or even make it hard to him. But he gets such a clean flick on. But again, you've got to give the Brentford player.
We did that all game long, and the goalie was guilty of this as well. And I want to say, I'm really glad that Mamardashvili got to make that first half save, because I actually think that's the first instance where he's done something I don't think Alisson could have
because he's
done.
just too big. Yeah.
Well, just because it's such a good save that I think to say that any other goalkeeper could have made it is just like
it's being a bit.
He's done with it. The first one he has to make, it's about 5 minutes before the end of the half. I think it ends our good spell basically, where they have a decent, and it's like right under the crossbar. He pulls hand out.
Was he? Damsgaard's ever from outside the box.
Yeah.
Damsgaard has never from outside the box. I can't remember when it was, though.
Yeah, but that save, just want to make perfectly clear, that is a stunning save from the goalkeeper, and he makes a good one in the second half as well. So I'm glad he got to do the things that I know that he's meant to be really good at, because I was a bit worried. But again, he's being chucked into the deep end in the Premier League, and I just had one of those thoughts where I was watching Kelleher and they were passing it back to him. Either fuss, doesn't matter, because he can play with both feet, and he was just passing it out. And every time it went back to Mamardashvili, I was like, well, at least Kirk has tried to play back to his left foot and then missed him by 3 feet. And he had to like slide.
Goal.
Yeah, he did.
But what I'm trying to say is he's 6'5", he's huge, and I think he's a little timid, and my concern with him, and this is stupid because the level, to me, compare the level that I played at, but I was a shot stopper despite my size, so I would trust myself to stay on my line and make a save rather than go push on and run the risk of not being anywhere near making the save on it. And I fear that he's a little bit like that. I think he sticks to his line slightly too much. I don't think he's commanding anywhere near enough, and a couple of times he's come out, he's not got anything like the distance he should be getting on his clearances. So, and then when you add the passing thing, it's been an awkward old start for Mamardashvili. I'm just, a bit of slap and tickle, but it's
I've got a
weird performance.
My worry is the second goal is that we're a high line team. You can't run back to your own goal when you're in goal in a high line team. Like, it feels like we're still playing like we've got Alisson in goal. We keep kicking it to his right foot. He's left footed. Kicking it to his left foot for a start. But also, Van Dijk and Konate, the lad isn't offside because he's in his own half and he's behind our defenders. That's how we play. We push up trying to squeeze, and we have to do that. I've got no issue with that. I think your goalkeeper has to come and get that ball.
Look, Alisson Becker, we've been spoiled. And I remember the post Pepe Reina to Mignolet thing, and Reina had that amazing thing where he come out vertically, and that was so new at the time. Everyone was always trained, you go down sideways at the feet and almost smother it, and Pepe was up, so everyone had to change how they took the shots. And Alisson's got the thing, and he said it before, he waits for the touch before their final touch, and the second they make it, he jumps on them, and so they're never quite set, and he pounces, and we're so used to that. And that goal, the breakaway one, there's a chance there where Alisson just goes and he's on his toes, and he makes it difficult for him, but effectively Mamardashvili leaves himself trying to guess which side he's going to shoot,
and guesses the wrong way,
and you look fucking stupid when you do that. Just rush him, just come out and rush him and smother him, and if he scores past you, he scores past you. But effectively giving him it's like an American shootout style penalty. And
he did it though. He did it. It's just what's weird. He did it against United amazingly well. Where he comes flying out and makes the save. Yeah. And the one where Osimhen goes through and he saved it. He was flying off his line. It was a weird moment because it was like, why are you going backwards?
But even in that Galatasaray game, there was one where it was offside. They got played over the top, and he's running back towards goal. And I'm going, what the fuck? I hadn't. It was baffling to actually watch someone do it. But
I see your point on Alisson because we are spoiled by having the best goalie in the world. But Kelleher did the Alisson things. He didn't do them as well as Alisson, but he was a natural number 2 to Alisson because you could play your high line because Kelleher was happy to come. He was better with his feet maybe, but he could also come and push out. I find it mad that we've got a goalie who wants to be on his line.
Because he played for Valencia, though, Steve, which is like playing forever.
But then is that not a scouting thing? With all due respect, it's very early and he can get better. But we are playing, again, I go back to it, our defenders are 5 yards inside their half and our goalie wants to run backwards. That's a disconnect there. You've either got to tell your defenders to be deeper because this lad wants to be on his line, or you've got to tell him you've got to be out. You can't. They had the whole half. The lad ran the entire way, and Konate can't do much because he'll get sent off. But if the goalie comes out, just make this defender, he might stutter, he might go round the goalie, he might miss, he could slow down to give Konate a chance.
I'm sorry, but it's goalkeeping 101, you narrow the angle. The further away you get from your goal, the less he's got either side of you to shoot at. You're just making it a little bit more difficult. And look, again, it feels like absolutely slaughtering Mamardashvili. He's young, he's new to the team, they need to understand how to play with him better. And to the Kelleher point, it didn't matter. If Kelleher was left-footed, it wouldn't matter because he could play with both feet, so it wasn't awkward. You didn't have to think, whereas they're having to, in addition to all the sort of little issues we've got in all different places of the squad, Virgil van Dijk's the best centre-half on the planet, and he keeps passing the ball to the goalie's wrong foot because he's doing it instinctively. I can see it. It's like he's playing blind passes back to the goalies wrong side because he's been doing it for too long.
That's my worry, is that this guy is so, and again, he is so different to Alisson, and like, you can change, of course you can change, but I think that change needs to be when your first choice. I think your backup, and you don't think you agree with this, Josh, your backup has to be a little bit similar to your first choice goalie, and he's got to do. He might not be as good at doing it, but he's got to be able to do similar things. Because Virgil van Dijk and Konate, they are front foot defenders. The last thing they want is to be running backwards. They never like doing that. They want to be on the front foot. Your goalie's got to be there to bail them out over. Otherwise, it is Ekitike gives a sloppy ball away, and one pass and they are straight in, and that always happens to us, by the way. But Alisson's usually there on the front foot coming out. Sharda, he has 4 touches of the ball. 4 touches unopposed with anything. That's I can't.
And don't forget, Konate lightly strokes the back of his shoulder, pats him on the back for a job.
I think he encourages him, mate. Go on, lad.
Go on, lad.
I think one of the problems you've got is I think Kelleher was a backup. I think Mamardashvili is supposed to be the next guy. Yeah. So with Kelleher, I was always a bit conscious about the ceiling that he had, because I don't think he's a massive shot stopper, and he's not particularly physically imposing or anything like that. I thought Mamardashvili would actually do a lot in a landscape like this, where you're getting long throws put under your crossbar and that, because he's the tallest player on the pitch. But he hasn't quite got that commanding presence just yet. He's not coming for as much as I thought. He's not doing Thibaut Courtois stuff.
Do you know what it is? And he's just another example of it. And Ekitike's a bit of this, and Vert and Isaac. It's players bought for the next thing. Yeah. And we don't seem to be ready to do the next thing yet. But they can't do the old thing. So because they're so different from what's there. So we're stuck in this. I think we were really hoping for this smooth transition between the, Slot's version of Klopp's football into full-blown slot. And you should have had, because we've got enough of the players there to hand over. But some of it's the decision he's made. It's not starting Robertson, I think, in the season is one little example of it. But then now being forced upon you, Alisson getting injured means you've got no choice but to, we've had to pull the curtain back on this thing too soon, and it's not there yet.
I think, you got to be careful. I don't want to sound like we're blaming the goalkeeper.
No, let's move on from the goalie, because I think, let's just say, it's not, he's just, for me, just typifies a bit of everything that's kind of going on. There's just
uncertainty within certain roles, and like I said, the way everything is meant to piece together is just not. I know,
but honestly, see Tsimikas, Milos, see Vert, Florian, lads who are more than good enough.
Bradley.
But I'm just what the other lads we've bought.
But he's now a first choice right back. He wasn't that before.
Yeah. And Gakpo.
Ekitike, Curtis Jones is 50-50. So you're talking about half of that team in terms of they weren't there starting games last season.
Let's let's talk a bit about some of the match incidents. 40 minutes in. I'm sorry. And I know it's, again, I hate this. I'm second guessing the things I say because I've done this for so long, and I hate feeling like sounding like I'm a fucking cook for the current Liverpool manager. Everyone's going to be fucking pissed off with it. But the point is that if it's a penalty on Gakpo.
I don't think it is.
I don't know if he touches him.
He just dives on the floor.
I don't think either of them are pens, to be honest.
Well, okay. Well, this is the thing.
He should give it, though.
I think he should give it because the guy cuts across him, doesn't win the football, and it does. And look, Gakpo goes down, and there is the definitive angle where he puts a solid shoulder or a hip into him. No, but at the same time, there's nothing about that isn't not a penalty in our VAR world. But then to have a world where the penalty then goes against us in the second half, and it's just, it goes back to this: who wants this and what's it for? Because their penalty is for, I think, people who want football who love fucking rules. They just fucking love rules, and they need there to be a boundary definition for absolutely everything. There was nothing in the spirit of the game that says that should be a penalty.
Why is he checking it, Paul? Why is he? Because I don't think he would check that in other circumstances. It looked outside the box.
It's not. The point is, to your point, not a free kick. It's barely a free kick at the best of times anyway.
But I don't think the ref gives it if he thinks if that's in the box.
Yeah. I've got theories on both. The first one, it's different refs, by the way. The first ref, we had to wait for 20 minutes while the ref got warmed up. He points at the ball on the Gakpo one, and he thinks Collins has got the ball, and that's why he doesn't give it. And then it turns out Collins hasn't got the ball, but then the contact is minimal, so VAR won't overturn it.
Which is fine, yeah.
But I think if if he'd saw that it was Gakpo's toe, Hooper might have give that, and then I'm not sure VAR would overturn it. It's one of those grey area ones, and then the second one is.
But sorry, go on.
And then the second one, I think the same thing. The ref, he wouldn't give that as a penalty because it's soft. But once he's give the foul and then VAR do the... I mean, it's
not in the box, by the way. I've seen the picture. It's not in the box.
It's very inconclusive at best.
Why are we the only ones who know this fucking on the line thing is a penalty? It happened to Fabinho a few seasons ago.
Robertson last year.
Yeah. But the Fabinho, I think it was a COVID season.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It happened to Fabinho and none of us had ever experienced this before in our lives.
It happened to Rob at Southampton, the same thing. It's just nitpicking.
But again, just on the whole thing of it, there was another penalty this weekend as well that was given along these lines. He's not getting the ball. The ball's gone. In fact, it's the one of some. It doesn't really matter. But there was another instance in the Premier League this weekend when someone was played in over the top, and the ball. Oh, it's Brighton. I think it's Brighton ball goes through, and he's kicked the ball away. He's got no chance of getting anywhere near it, and he gets brought down. And no, technically it's a foul because he's whipped him, but the goalie gathers the ball in that one. He's running out away from the penalty area. The ball's he's it's.
But the thing is, there's a still now. Obviously, they didn't show it during the game. That shows that Van Dijk actually touched him, not Van Dijk. He's in the box. Van Dijk's toe touched him about an inch outside the box. Mm-hmm. That aside, Cavani can't be sure. So this whole idea of you only like they were saying on commentary, it was factual. It's a factual decision. It's either in or it's out. Well, it's not, because every picture I've seen of it stopped when Van Dijk's toe touched him. He's actually outside the box, and then but it is because Van Dijk's foot comes back down towards him on the line. They give a pen, but it's like, how can you be 100% sure, so sure that you're going to overturn that decision and go the other way? Yeah. And that's where it's gone wrong with me. But his name's Chris Cavani, so it doesn't surprise me.
But they're huge. But these are huge moments in the football match ultimately. And again, these are the fine margins of it. And people can go, I've seen people go, there's not enough content. And what annoyed me was TNT's coverage on the side. I think it was like Joe Cole going, oh, well, he's played for contact. I'm like, fuck off, Joe Cole. Like, honestly, his entire career was built around little bits and pieces like that. And it's another one of them things. It is the exact type of decision where good old boy Harry Kane runs into the box and gets a little bit of touch and goes down. Everyone goes, he's played for that, but like it's a good thing. So I think for them to then go the other end and score, that's a huge moment. And we're not creating the second half at all, but to then give that as a penalty, that's game over. Once that goes to 3-1, that's done.
I think Gakpo, I don't think it is a penalty. I think he dives. I don't think he needs to dive, which is the worst part about it. He probably just needs to get fouled. I mean, to be fair, that was 2-0, and then we scored like 10 seconds later. So,
he is like that, though, isn't he? He is like that, Gakpo, though. Yeah. There's a lot about him where around contract, you either want him to be softer and go down, or you want him to be much stronger and go in. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of the time, you left like Gakpo thinking like,
we wanked Steven Gerrard off over Istanbul for diving for the penalty. So like, there is absolutely it looks like a penalty.
But once the ref says he got the ball, it's the grey area.
That was 1-0, Steve. That it was at 1-0.
Yeah.
So that was a big moment in the game. Both pens were huge moments for us in the game.
That's what I mean. And again, you're left with this, and this is the problem. The sum total of it is that we've lost 4 consecutive games of football in the Premier League, and it's annoying because what I want is, or it would be more easy and more definitive if we would just, if teams were like, okay, their second goal's fine, it's a counter-attacking goal. We scored exactly the same goal in midweek, so it's a thing. It's a good way of dealing with being under pressure. It's a good centre forward play as well, but the amount of just like those stupid moments where you could just do with, we've got a bit of a mountain problem and a lot of issues to solve. If we could just have a few other things, not even go for us, just not go against us, would be smashing. Give us a bit of a level playing field in which to try and work.
Can I say on the penalty though as well, that they get, I know whatever, I still think it's quite lazy defending by Virgil. Like, I don't know, that's just dangling your leg out. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, go and tackle him. Like, if you're going to tackle him. Oh,
There's a lot of that stick.
Yeah, just like lazy little flicks of your foot. Like, what's the best that can come of that? You might just get a toe on the ball. If you're going to go and hit him, fucking hit him. Like you don't need to do these little farty little put your toe in there kind of things. And like they scored a pen, right? And I know we had the controversy of it. They were all over us. And because we go in with the Kirkes goal 2-1, I thought we're going to come out the second half and we're going to be right into these. And it was the exact opposite. Like Liverpool were crap. And it felt like a matter of time before they scored. And it goes back to just like, and I said this on the previous show, so apologies for repeating myself a bit, but like Virgil's style when you're winning is amazing, but it kind of does your head in when you're losing. Because it can't, the nonchalant style about it, it's fantastic, but like when you're losing, it's just, I'm thinking, just go and head it and kick someone and throw someone on the floor and be a big giant grok that you are. But like, again, it's hypocritical.
Well, he's turning around, but I'd say he's almost turning around too much. He's firefighting.
I agree, yeah. And I think he looks borderline panicked, and that's out of character for him. And he's doing stuff, and like he's done one or two things with Kirkes in the past, like 1 or 2 games, and it's been his fault. And he's just roared at Kirkes because he's like an easy target.
Kirkes has been
like, what are you doing?
Kirkes had the ignominy of having the ball kicked in his face by Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, there was another one as well where he gives him the ball like a hospital pass against Brentford. Kirkes loses it, and Virgil has a go at him. It's the wrong pass, mate. It's a dodgy pass, like so. I do think there's elements in there of he's just trying to do everything because everything around him's kind of going to shit a little bit, to be honest.
And so I actually don't. Again, you know, I don't hate it. I think he's one of the ones who's trying to drag us out of it. But when you're centre half, there's not loads more you can do.
I just think, Paul, sorry, on that.
No, look, I want to move on because we're running low on time and there's good stuff to talk about. Relatively, I want to talk about Dominic Szoboszlai. I thought that was a stunning performance again from Szoboszlai. I just think he's incredible, Sam. And I think the him and Jones axis worked brilliantly, you know, at times, and it was excellent in midweek. I thought the way they linked up a game was excellent. They feel like the part of the solution when you're looking around and going, how do we get ourselves out of this? Right now, Szoboszlai in centre mid with Jones and ultimately Gravenberch buying back in would be great as well. But it feels to me like you want 2 from those 3 in the 2 midfield positions, and then just let Wirtz continue to play football for us. But before we get to that, Szoboszlai, every time we did something good, he was at the heart of it. Every time it threatened to go to shit, he was the one fixing it. I know my dad described the midweek performance as like shades of Gerrard. It was another one like that for me. He played that game, and he's played these last few games, and in fact all of this season, like Hungary's Szoboszlai. He looks like a lad who should be wearing the armband. Yeah,
he feels like he's fully sort of appreciated the weight of playing for Liverpool. When he first came in, he looked free. Do you remember the first 3 months? He looked really free as a player and was fantastic. It looked easy for him. And then he struggled a little bit, got a little bit of injury, and he's rebuilt now. Now he looks like a player who's willing to hold Liverpool up when needs be. I think with him, and one of the reasons why I think he stood out above a lot of others is his athleticism, and he's using it rightly. A lot we've lacked that without going into too much detail about individual players, but I think we've lacked that across the side a little bit. So when he shows athleticism, because we're lacking it so much in so many other areas, it's like wow, look at that! Like he tracks back, gets his body in front, wins the ball back, and drives forward again. That happened a few times towards the end, and I just don't think we're seeing that enough across the board. So he's standing out a mile. But what he's doing with the ball, I think, is fantastic as well. He's playing the right pass at the right time. He's tracking the right runner at the right time. He can drop into right back, come back into the middle as he did the weekend. He's the best player for us this season by a mile, and for me, I agree with you. He's got to stay in the middle of the park, and we've got to almost build around him. If we're going to move forward and not look back too much, he's going to be in the middle of the park.
He's the model we've done before about this, like what the Premier League is, and has become what it's becoming. He fits that because he is quick, strong, powerful, can play.
Yeah, 6 foot.
Yeah, big guy. Do you think he's been our best midfielder?
I think he's been our best player.
Do you think we should stop putting him at right back?
Yeah, I think Grav probably played more good games in midfield than him, but that's because he's played more games than him. But
sorry. If we had a buzzer to jump in there, just absolutely would have slammed
the only thing I was thinking, when you said then playing him in midfield, stop playing him right back, and that, given what we've said about the league, the set pieces, the long throws and all that sort of thing, if, let's say, Bradley can't play the next game, and you have a choice between Szoboszlai or Frimpong at right back,
I'll play Joe Gomez, I think.
You play Joe Gomez, okay. Yeah. That's fair.
I think
we are lacking pace and power across the team in certain areas, and he provides that in abundance.
But
I don't think and I agree that the balance with Jones works well, because I thought Jones defended really well at times and keeps the ball and does the Curtis stuff. They've struck up a little bit of a balance here, but yeah, I feel
Curtis Jones is managing to put down, play a lot of passes, but play a lot of accurate passes, but he's not doing it in a sideways and backwards kind of way, which is the impressive thing about Jones. It's going under the radar how many forward passes he's playing because I think people still go, well, Jones just holds on to it too long and he plays it safe. Not this season, he doesn't. He plays like he's meant to. And what I just feel like the way out of this is to have lads, just energetic, enthusiastic footballers on the pitch. And the joy I've had this week has all come from watching Jones, Szoboszlai and Wirtz play football. And I've not really had that, for lots of the season, because they've all, McAllister's really been playing against himself at times throughout it, and and even Salah, playing a different position, of course, but in a similar sort of way. If you're going to jumpstart something, you can't really go far wrong with having a bunch of lads all willing to put a massive shift in.
I think also, mate, on the right back in the chain, when your team isn't playing, you're the manager, you're scrambling around, aren't you? You're trying to just find a spark, find something that works, but so Szoboszlai goes to right back, but then he ends up back in midfield because Gomez comes on for Wirtz, and it's all a little bit all over the place. I just think he is the best player now. I think we all agree. I think you just put him in the middle and then work out from that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you maybe get Ekitike in front of him, who's been the best striker. Get him in midfield with probably Curtis for now, although he's injured, so we'll have to wait and see. Just what are you building your team around? What is the plan? Because it's really difficult to find it, and it's so you put Sobol to right back. He doesn't really get a kick, so he goes back into midfield. And then he ends up getting the cross for the goal because he's back playing further forward. I get
the idea that to the earlier point of, if you're trying to replicate a bit of what we had last season to smooth this transition over, then having Szoboszlai go to right back gives you something. Okay, he's much more athletic than Trent was, but he's much more of a ball playing footballer out there.
It'd be easier if McAllister was playing well and fit, because I think Szobo is almost being used to firefight the issues we've got, and the problem we've got is that there's about 4 different issues that he can solve, but he can't solve them all by himself.
Well, I just want to make this point before we wrap up on this part of there's only 3 teams in the league that are in worse form than Liverpool right now, and they're in the bottom 3 of the Premier League. The Liverpool have to see a way out of this, but there is just so many. There's too many things. We've not even talked about the Kerkez thing. I made up that he scored, but he had another absolutely wild game. But also, he did one overlapping run in the first half, and Gakpo misplaced the pass, and then never did again. It's like he's gone, well, let's see, prove ya. Doesn't work that. No, be better at doing that, mate.
Missed it on purpose.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Wait, did your lads get back?
Right, pass the ball to me on the corner of the box again, lads. Let's go back to this.
He's like having, remember Taz? The Tasmanian Devil. It's like having him at left back. That bit when he heads it backwards, or that bit when he clears it and goes the wrong way and kicks out. He's like, he does the thing of, I don't want to give a throw-in away, so he just gives it out on the other side. That's not my problem. He can't do loads, but he's an example at this moment. I feel like everyone's muddled up thinking, and I feel sorry for him in particular, because his head's all over the place, and he's getting bollocked by Van Dijk for stuff he's not done wrong.
But I think he's getting really unfairly targeted, particularly online. I don't think he's been stupendous.
He's not cost us goals since Newcastle, has he?
Yeah, I mean, but
there's this narrative though that he's a bad defender. I don't think defensively he's that bad. I think it's more on the ball. On the ball, he's just panicked. He's really. He feels rushed. He feels.
Everything's 100 miles an hour, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
about Tasmanian Devil. Just spin around, and something good might happen, but something bad might happen. He's equally likely to score that goal as he is to just do anything. Mad. There's no you can get. It's like.
But he's not getting done though every week. The comparisons to Moreno, I think again are the brainless shouts. But Moreno would also on the defensive end try and tackle someone by drop kicking them and just cartwheels and everything.
I've just envisaged that in the head.
Honestly,
fucking Europa League final.
Honestly, he was unhinged, Moreno, when it comes to defending. But I think Kerkez is actually quite difficult to beat 1v1. But it's on the ball. You need to just give him one of them little chill pills or something like that, or something to calm him down.
It's just exactly. He's fine, and there are certainly things that you can see that it adds to the game. But also, we seem to be doing that thing where I remember we had this with Trent and Gomez at right back for a while in like 17-18 and 18-19, where you used to know what games were Gomez games and what games were Trent games. So like Gomez starting the new camp, you know, as an example of that one. But then eventually Trent became so good. His skill set was just so useful that you made a point from him in every single football match. Right now, Robertson plays the Kerkez games and Kerkez is playing the Robertson games. So we're in a situation where you could really do with someone being like good and really solid in possession, just being someone to play football with. We seem to have Kerkez on the pitch in them, and then when a game opens up and you need someone to really accelerate into the situation, Robertson's on the pitch. Yeah. It's mad to me.
Do you think that Slot thought that Uwacha, whatever his name is, Wataru actually would have been on the right wing and going at him, and maybe if Robbo's on the pitch, he gets more joy? I saw a comparison graphic yesterday of Robertson and Kerkez defensively only, and it was like a donut. Robertson was on the inside, like horrendous, and Kerkez was green, like, you know, quite significantly, but defensively only, man. But it was like a donut. Josh, you probably have seen similar stuff. It was like, wow, like I wouldn't have thought that listening to X and Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. But actually, on the face of it, Kerkez isn't doing too bad off the ball.
Well, Paul Tonkin's made some good points about the whole aerial threat thing in the last few weeks, and because people are going, we're missing Trent, and his counter argument was, Trent would have been absolutely destroyed this season because he wasn't good aerially, and the amount of defending we've had to do, he'd have been exposed in ways we've never even used to. So actually, our fullbacks, Kerkez in particular, is actually doing all right in terms of his aerials and stuff. But yeah, it's just, again, it goes back to the on the ball. Everything just looking a little bit ill-fitted to whatever it is we're trying to do. And every time you shake it up and you try to find something else that works, you're right, you leave someone else as the odd piece wondering what the hell they were bought for or why they're still here.
The problem with, I think as well, all throughout this, right, is that our team, I mean, I'd love you to tell me, Josh, like, what are we trying to do? Like, what's the defensive plan and what's the attacking plan? And are the players doing are they doing what they're meant to be doing? Are they doing what Slot's telling them to do? What's Slot telling them to do? Because I can't watch us anymore and figure out we're trying to defend like this and we're trying to attack and build through the lines like this. And that's messy for me. Like, so it's no wonder games look panicky and frazzled, because I'm not exactly sure the players look like comfortable exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I just don't like the makeup of the squad. I think the squad's packed full of forwards, full of players who want to be ahead of the ball. And if you want to play them all together, and Slot's trying to do that, there's going to be some of them that are staying deep. Like Kerkez, for example, if you could argue a kind of like chaotic approach to using the ball is valuable if he's in the final third. But when you're trying to build the game, and you've also got Mamadashvili, who's not a ball player and he's left-footed and everyone keeps thinking he's right-footed, you've lost Trent. Your 6 in Gravenberch is not really a pass master. He's more of a carrier, isn't he? So suddenly that's getting emphasised. So there's just loads of different little mini problems that you've got to solve, like, to get out of this. And as I said before, I think it could be a transfer window thing, because we're full of like ball playing, attacking midgets, and
that,
who keep getting
problem. We're too small,
and that is just a complete odds to what the Premier League is now.
Do you know what though?
Complete antithesis.
But the solution to all that is you make up for that by being brilliant at football. And right now, we're not doing enough of
We're creating the most chances in the league, though. That's the mad thing. So you could say about attacking-wise, Slot could say, well, attacking-wise, our XG, our chances created, is right up there. So that needs fixing, as in the confidence in front of goal, 100%. So really, that doesn't need so much change too much, because that will get better. Josh, you're a stats man. Generally, it evens itself out, XG to actual outcome, doesn't it? If you underperform it, you eventually start to pick it up, don't you?
The problem we've got, sorry, Josh, is that we've gone from being a team that wins most games and draws every now and again. If you think how progression goes with a new football team is, you tend to come in when it's all gone to shit. So what you do is you just lose too many games of football. So then to become a top 4 side, you turn those defeats into draws, and then to become a title winning side, you turn the draws into wins. And we've jumped 2 fucking steps back down the rung at the moment, where we can't even grind out a point here and just, and go, well, we got away with that one, let's regroup and go again. There's just a big zero column in between, us doing quite well and finding ways to win, and us completely capitulating in loads of weird, unusual ways.
I also think, again, you'll know more on this, Josh. Like, is this XG coming because by the end of the game we've got like 7 lads who got attackers on? Because the manager's just like, he's just webbing all these attackers on. So like, We should create chances. If we ended that game with Ngumoa, Salah, Ekitike, Chiesa on the pitch at some point, isn't he? They're all on, and we've ended games with these mad teams because we're chasing games. And as I heard you say the other day, he needs to figure out a way where he doesn't have to keep doing this. But he hasn't figured out a way to stop doing this. So we have to go and create loads of chances. We shouldn't have to create 7, 8, 9 chances by webbing on all these lads. Like, we keep taking our fullbacks off for attackers because we're behind. Liverpool's XG should be a bit lower because they're keeping the back door shut. But when you're constantly having to score 2-3 goals to win a game of footy, you're going to have to do this. I think it all stems from the fact that we can't stop the other team scoring goals
early.
And then, of course, the XG should be high because they're sitting back. We're Liverpool. We have to go and try and beat them. Like, there's no... It appears to me like I'd rather the chance creations come down, but fucking keep the back door shut.
Yeah, I think that was the initial task on Slot's hands when he first took the job. I think Liverpool were just really offensive and he needed to calm us down, he needed to get more control. We established it was perfect. And then you've played with the ingredients over the summer and you've gone backwards a little bit. Liverpool are 3rd in the table for XG. I checked this morning and we're 12th for XG against. So, all the best.
I think it's a lot easier to go the other way around, though. I think it's with the players we've got. I think it's quite a lot easier to cut out the daft mistakes. Maybe adapt a little bit. Like Mamardashvili comes off his line a bit more. Little things to go back up from 12th to 4th. Then it is maybe not fair.
What I will say, an important point is Liverpool are 2nd in the table, level on points with Arsenal, based on pure open play goals. So if you remove set pieces from the game, long throws from the game, and it's just open play, Liverpool are joint top.
Which feels like one of those things where you're trying to like write off a skill that Arsenal got. You're not, but it's a statement of it just shows Liverpool need to get better at set pieces.
Well, it shows that the game within the game, i.e. set pieces, Liverpool are terrible at, and that's the bridge between the team that are probably going to win the league and Liverpool being, on the cusp of, qualifying for like Conference League stuff.
That's set pieces against as well. It's not just set pieces for. Yeah. Like, they're great at scoring them and they don't concede. We don't score that many and we concede tons of them. And that goes back to is that a mentality thing? Is that a squad makeup thing? Because I don't know.
But that's a practice thing. I think.
You say that, but he said to me, he said in his press conference, all we did on Friday was defend long throws, and the first one that came at an angle, he scored off.
Yeah. So like, no. But it's cool. It's a one. Yeah, but if you could be good at set pieces from one training session, and I'm not saying they've only done one exclusive training session on it, it's a thing. I've said this is the thing you add on top. When you're good at everything else, you go to set pieces. The two types of teams that are good at set pieces are the team that finishes 16th or 17th in the Premier League and the team that wins the league. They're the two types of teams that everyone in the middle hasn't got time because they're trying to get everything else working for them. They're trying to implement a style, or they're trying to fight for their lives to stay up. It's always Roy Hodgson teams or the team that goes to win the league that are the boss of them, because that's what you choose to pour your focus into. We're trying to find a way to play football and to then go, wait, well, we're gonna give up our work on shape to go and practice kicking the ball into the box.
No, to be around though, mate. I just think that should be priority one, to stop conceding. So if it means all week you have your defenders defending set pieces, I would trust that we could find a way with these lads who are that good up front to just score a goal.
That's what Arsenal like, by the way. They're crap in general play, but whenever they've got the ball, there's 6 men behind the ball, so you're not even getting a shot at us, and we'll find a way, and they do.
Yeah, and that's like, it feels like at this moment in time, trying to find the patterns of play is great, but like, it's like, I go back to you buying the couch when the roof's fell in. Like, stop! Like, fix the roof first. The roof is every time the ball's in the air, we're going to score a goal. So I think that.
But that's for me though. You're right, the set piece thing. But I still think system where the way we're set up is the problem.
It's all wrong. Like, it's like Joshua said, all the best. But I'm just thinking, what can you try and fix first? I'm with Sam. Let's do the set piece stuff first.
Let's draw a line, because I do want to talk about the setup, because there was definitely something to be learned from last week, and maybe it hasn't been learned this weekend, but there are more games of football still to be played. I just want to read super chats actually before we do take a very short break and come back and talk about the Palace game. But there's been loads, so thanks everyone who's chucked in some stuff in my word. Right, Robbie Brown says away end got toxic after 2-0. Glad we scored quickly after to calm the crowd down. Give Slot the chance to work his way out of this mess. Fans need to stand strong. Keep speaking sense, Redmen TV. Thank you so much. Carth, I will not even attempt your name because
just click on the screen.
Yeah, sorry. Team is slow. Has heavy metal been coached out?
But heavy metal was coached that when they won the league. So we're not mad anymore.
Yeah, but
we're just mad in that we are heavy metal now. We're just
but we were metalheads underneath, but in suits. You know what I mean? Like, so you could still hold your own in a mosh pit if it really had
Just
to.
a shit high school band now.
Fucking McFly or something.
Yeah. Kevin Davis says, we are all walking through a storm at the moment, but we know at the end of the storm is a golden sky. Lovely sentiment, thank you. Martin Lawrence says, slotting some of the senior players allowed the standards to slip. After the league was won last season, they haven't been able to get them back. We look to have bought more for the Champions League than the Premier League. Josh, get your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the standard slipping thing, I don't think it's so much that. I think because we win our first 7 games in a row, don't we? Largely because of mentality. Getting over the line, champions, all that sort of thing. But I think gradually over time, we've been stung by the recruitment that we've navigated. I think we've bought. It's mad because they're really good individuals, but buy them as a collective, and you've suddenly got a problem. So I'd love to know what the blueprint was. Yeah. I'd love to know what the plan. What I think Slotter's obsessed over, not so much buying for the Champions League, but buying for a low block. Because he goes on about that quite a lot lately, as in like last season, towards the back end, we were facing a low block every week. So you're going by Vert as a key to the door, you're going by overlapping fullbacks and Frimpong and Kirk as you can do stuff for you high up. But now you're facing giants every week and you're getting done by set pieces, and now you've got everyone who wants to run, no one who wants to sit, and you go from there. So good individuals, but it's a team sport, and I think we've lost the balance there.
Protegidu 2920. When will you guys start to fear the worst with Vets?
He's clearly amazing at footy. So that helps. But it's more Josh's thing of you have to build a team that allows him to be what he's good at, what he's at, and he can't do that in this team at the moment in time. So again, he's another one who. Your dad mentioned this morning was really good. He said he feels like a luxury player, but we're too crap to have a luxury player at the moment.
We've got Mo, that's the problem.
And Salah's he's already got one of them. So he'll be fine in terms of his ability. He's not crap, clearly, but at this moment in time, the fit just doesn't feel right.
You know what would be nice? Yeah, because for me, I mean, again, fear the worst, and life can come at you in loads of different ways. I've enjoyed watching Vert for the last 3 games, and that's something. So actually, with a player like him, I want to enjoy the football that he's bringing, and I definitely have done a lot more. I just want to see him play 10 games with Alexander Isak. The 2 lads that we've bought, and we clearly went all in on this summer. I would just want to see them play football together and just see what that looks like.
Absolutely. I think as well, with Vert, unless Salah comes out and says, I'm never leaving this football club, I'm staying here for another 18 months regardless to how badly I play or how injured I am, then you might have an issue. But I think I'm with you. I see him, he's just, everything that he does is looking forward. Sorry, I'm just saying.
Well, Toffee have really piped up.
Imagine they lose 4 games.
You can hear the microphones here, Everton fans next door are going mental.
But yeah, come back. I think the way he just plays the game, you watch him off, if you know the old player cam, the way he's just constantly scanning, it's brilliant. I think he's wonderful playing.
It's looked like the last couple of games, we've decided to play football with him. As opposed to play football with Mo Salah and try and work everything around that. And I think Vert needs to get a bit more used to the idea that just play the passes you want to play, mate. And I think we saw more of that again at the weekend. So yeah, honest answer, I don't. What is fear the worst is that he's.
I also think it's insistent that arguably his best game was Frankfurt, in a game where we could control the game and we could press them high and we could keep the ball. I think when it's a bit more basketball, then he looks a bit more exposed. But long term, he's younger than Kwanzaa, so he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay, mate. Honestly, but a long term, he's not a concern for me. But short term, finding a way to get the most out of him while you're getting the most out of everyone else is tricky.
Yeah, Sarah Patil, this is the only football content I consume after a loss. Now, if I need to lift my mood up after such a run, I need both Mate and Payjack together. The key word here is together. For fuck's sake, just win Liverpool. Yeah, Chris is currently recovering from a party night somewhere. Probably on his mate's couch somewhere, dead in Leeds. So, hopefully we'll get him.
I did text him this morning and no reply. Not even blue ticked.
Wow,
he could be asleep.
That's because he could have lost his phone or anything. Yeah. See, Chris is not. Chris is as a drinker.
I've got a text back off him.
He's alive and well, Chris. He's normally the one who's up at 5 a.m. after thinking there's no
Who
respite
was
now.
who was the commenter? Sorry, what was his name?
Sarab.
Cheers for the vote of confidence. That's what I mate.
No, yeah,
Me,
We'll just get off, yeah.
made up at the start of 11 there, didn't
Yeah. Dacho 15 says, lads, you know how we brought in Slot because he had a similar playing style to Klopp. Looks polar opposite now from intensity to jogging football. Yeah, I mean that they are the fears. I mean, you know, like that's the thing that keeps you awake at night, isn't it? Of like, what if it was just the residual of what Klopp had left in place, and then all you do is you just make it a bit more sensible, and you stop people getting injured so much, and that was the pathway to success. What if? Or might it be that we're just being a bit offensive to Arne Slot, and he is quite a good manager? And I mean, Josh, you wrote a piece on your latest piece, I think, on Substack was about sack the manager kind of thing, wasn't it? And it was,
Yeah.
but like in a pseudo ironic kind of headline grabbing kind of way.
Yeah.
But you know, this is a guy who's like he's won the league in 2 different countries now, and there's loads of managers who've won other league titles and then failed to deliver in England. He's now one of the very select few have, so it seems a bit churlish to presume that he can't do it again.
I just think we obviously know that he's good. We know he's good. He's proved it. He's won a title in 2 different countries, as you say. He's really good with the media. He's tactically pretty good. I think the big difference between last season when he walked the Premier League and this season, he hasn't changed. He's the same guy. You know, there's no difference. What's changed is the squad. And since the squad's changed, and you could argue maybe the style of the league, and those have impacted suddenly now we're falling down a hill a little bit. But I think the solution is to sack him. I mean, who would you get in then who's going to get more from this current group than Slot?
Let's go back to the wild attacking stuff and that as well. Yeah, no, I agree. You know, but you pull names up, and I think we did this question last week. It was like Iraola, fine, but Iraola, you know, he might yet be the next.
Might win the league this year.
I know, yeah. He might be the next one off the line. But just on this, I don't really want to get too sucked into this, so I apologise. But Chelsea would sack the manager in the next couple of weeks if it continues to go like that. And I don't mean the current Chelsea, even though they still would. I mean, when Chelsea were really good, they would do this. Someone would come in and try and refresh it and try and get rid of the old guard and have a transition stuff, and they would struggle, and then they'd sack him and they'd bring in anyone, and they'd just restore all the old stuff and maybe get one last little hurrah out of it, you know. Lampard and co just come out for what, you know, but then of course they hadn't played half a season, so they were fit and fresh enough to do it, etc., etc. Liverpool have still got to learn how to not be underdogs. We've got to learn how to be comfortable in our own skin as the best, and that's where I don't think that's not going to be this season by the looks of it. We're going to have to go back to plumbing the depths of being like, well, everything's against us. How do we find a way to lift ourselves? That might be a problem for future years, but it's whether we stick with our guns, because is it arguable that a team that does set high expectations and fall short of them, would you bullet the manager for it? There are certainly football clubs that would. You know, Real Madrid wouldn't be standing for this, and Chelsea wouldn't be standing for this, but that's not who we are. So, yeah.
Do you know what, Paul? What we've needed, and this is an excuse really, is like if we look at other managers, I'm sure we'll talk about this in the later show, but you know, you just need a Sunderland at home. When United were going to sack Hammer, and it was definitely going to happen if we lost. Well, obviously it wasn't, but that's all they needed. And you just play Sunderland at home. And I know Chelsea just got beat to them. That's their own doing.
we had one though. We had Man United at home.
Yeah, we did. We should have won that game. We should have won that game, really.
Yeah,
but you know, they have Bruno Fernandes, they have Cunha, they have Mbemo. Like we've just needed Leeds, Sunderland, West Ham, Wolves, maybe even a Brentford at home to just win, and then you just break up the thing. We just haven't.
The problem, yeah, and that is the problem. The quality of sides we've faced has been extreme. You know, it's even compared to Arsenal. Look, I don't feel like I'm stealing things from Arsenal. Sometimes it works out in your favour, but you know, we said the other week, Forest, Leeds, and West Ham are home. They've played all 3 of them,
and now Palace who are knackered.
And even now, Forest are going to be, you know, might be more resolute now. So you might get Forest at home, and then Dijk comes and parks it. Well, and that might be great. Slot might be off. Thank God, someone's just going to come and park the bus. This is amazing. But there's 9 points from three very winnable games of football, and still barring Burnley away, which was still the hardest iteration of that game, and probably the hardest that will be. it's still been a bit of a slog for us. Right, one last one coming. 442 Diamond says Darren Mindbender. Endo hoovering up second balls and winning duels. Sobo and Grav progressing play. Plus physicality. Virt, Ten and Isaac and Salah up top.
Did he say Endo then?
Yeah, I just know. I'm sorry,
Yes,
Darren.
lad.
I'm sorry, Darren, but...
Listen,
You lost me with 442 Diamond, and I literally switched off at Endo.
hear me out. I don't agree with the Diamond. I think there is a world where if he really wanted to, he could just get everyone on the pitch who he thinks can defend and just don't concede against Aston Villa and then just go from there. And in which case, it might be that, but it can't. It's not going to be...
This goes back to what I said before about people just craving duels.
I just don't want to
mate.
I hate conceding goals at the minute. I'll play a back six. Honestly, get 2 goals.
You're wearing a gum shield as well.
This is no insult to Wataru Endo.
Someone please.
Love Wataru Endo. Think he's great, but not
At football.
Not at Liverpool.
I want to win the team, you know.
Well, he's wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Love me dad, but he's wrong.
Could someone just clear the ball?
Stop, we need to stop being massive shithouses over this. Like, who the fuck do we think we are? Like, eventually we're gonna play more Frankfurt eventually. You know what I mean? And hopefully just intersperse it a bit. If we could just play some teams that aren't absolute.
I just miss Russell Martin, Southampton, mate. Just bring them back, you know.
Company's Burnley.
Company's Burnley when you need them.
100%. Right, anyway, later than advertised, a very short break from us. We're going to pick up on some of these conversations and we talk about Liverpool against Palace in a second.
Hey everyone, at the end of October we are going to be giving away this signed Liverpool shirt, and it is not just signed by one LFC legend, it is signed by 5 of them. You've got women's superstar sensation Natasha Dowie, you've got Sammy Lee, you've got Gary McAllister, you've got Bruce Grobbelaar, and you've got goal scoring machine John Aldridge's signature on this shirt. If you want to win it, simply head to redmenplus.com, become a legend tier subscriber, get all of our amazing content in both video and podcast forms, and loads of extra perks and bonuses as well, including this shirt. It was signed at our end of season party, and by the way, Jags from the Ragamuffins, he signed it too, and if you want, or if you don't, whatever, some of the Redmen TV crew can sign it for you as well. It is a truly unique prize. redmenplus.com, become a legend by the end of October and you'll be in the prize draw. Good luck.
Yes, welcome back. Crystal Palace, not these pricks again. I just cannot be arsed with this. Just want a team that has some noble but foolish ambitions of playing football to come to us and get just roll over, let us all feel good about our lives. Not Crystal Palace, who are just going to come and make it absolutely horrendous for us. Just to swing it back a bit to the conversation, because we were talking about Steve's now, I see, and apparently me dad are now like, let's load the team full of absolute dogs who just want to boot the ball away. That's exactly what you said, Steve. We can rewind the tape. That's exactly what you said.
He just asked, didn't he, in the break if Nat Phillips was still only on loan.
Get him in. I'm in favour of it.
But I am interested in the Gomez conversation, Josh, because what I not necessarily, when we say right back, I think Joe Gomez's days as a modern right back are over. But what I saw from the Frankfurt game that interested me was how we used Andy Robertson, which was one of the big changes where I think we got it a bit wrong against Brentford, because Robertson played left back, but he didn't. He basically played left of a back three for lots of that game, and then he would choose his moments to go up and maybe he'd get up alongside Ethan Yabok sometimes, but he was just a really sensible head. You know, he played it a bit like Milner played it back in the day in some regards. When you've got the 2 flying fullbacks, you think you've got to commit to it, and the goal that Kerr scores is a great example of that. It's a Bradley cross to him. But I do wonder with the Gomez thing, if you're looking to create that base, for me it's not Wataru Endo, but you might be able to get something out of a world where let Kerkez be unleashed, but Gomez can just sit in and be more of a back three-ish in possession. Just a thought. But in terms of how you keep numbers back, keep some height in the team, and not totally overcommit, this does still maybe involve a move for Salah as well. But as far as a starting place goes, I could see a world with Gomez.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the Kerkez thing myself. That would at least allow him to basically advance, you know, and go and play in the final third and play a little bit more like he played for Bournemouth. I think the crucial thing about what made him look really good for Bournemouth is he was always in the final third, always getting to the byline, lots of cutbacks, lots of combinations with his left-sided forward. it's a shame he's playing with Cody Gakpo because he's probably not going to get that. But you would at least unlock that version of him, and you'd focus less on his ability to build the game, which I don't think he's very good at doing. So yeah, you could move towards that. Like I think that would look a little bit better. But what I don't like about the Gomez thing is I just ultimately don't think it was the plan for Gomez to be starting games.
Yeah.
So if
Did they sold him if they got Gay in? Probably.
Yeah.
So
but if you're moving to a point now where you're starting to, Joe Gomez is playing every single week, something's gone wrong then. So something's gone wrong with the summer business.
But to the point, I agree. But and look, maybe the answer is just play more of Robertson at left back. But then you've bought Kirkes to phase Robertson out. I'm just thinking that.
I do think the right back department is a problem though. So if Gomez could just lock it down and just do it for until January at the earliest, you keep Frimpong out the team, you keep Bradley out the team, because I don't think Bradley's had a good season so far either. No. You unlock Kirkes. I think there's logic in it.
But it's but the knock-on thing for me is like Frimpong, we only get like 15 minutes of him in Frankfurt, but it looks good, and he's high, wide and right, and Bradley doesn't do quite the same thing. He tucks in a lot more, and so it's more that if that was what was working, but you can't replicate it because you've not got Frimpong, well then just flip it to the other side is what I'm saying. Let Kirkes play high and wide on the left-hand side and let Gomez, or put Gomez at left back if you really want to, whatever. It's just giving us that extra sensible head at the back to provide a bit more structure, because what we did at the weekend was, for me, was just back to the same old.
The only issue you'll have there is that you've only got 3 centre halves and you'd have more on the pitch.
Yes.
So your bench, you Endo's your backup centre half now, because obviously Leone's injury and failing to get Mark Gay. Mm-hmm. I think the manager is very concerned about the fact that you can't just keep playing all 3 of the centre halves every game, and that's why Gomez maybe isn't in the team, because he'll play probably on Wednesday, but he'll probably be a centre back.
Yeah.
So that's the Leone issue, and listen, we didn't know this until we saw like one half of him. It turns out he's probably good, but. That complicates things a little bit, doesn't it? You can't really, as a manager, keep going into game after game every midweek and play all 3 of them. Gomez will break down. Yeah. And then you've got nobody left.
But the problem is that we're not winning games of football.
No, yeah, it's all on the table.
And so if Gomez is a solution to a problem, then win a few games and then find another solution to another problem if it arises down the line.
Fix the roof kind of thing.
Yeah.
Before,
And again, it's a bit my point in the first half of, it's too soon to tell whether this is what Slot was wanting to do all along. And as he then had to pull it back again because Isak was out and Frimpong was out. But I'm just wondering that if that's really what he wants to do, how does he facilitate that with the players he's got? Because what he's doing otherwise, it's not working.
I just don't, mate, there's just no way the plan didn't have Mo Salah in it though. Right. So that it can't be that. It couldn't have. But
it can do, because Mo Salah's only. I don't think Mo Salah was going to play next season.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but the plan, if the plan was never this season to not play Mo Salah, so whatever the plan was in the summer would have 100% had Mo Salah in, otherwise he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't think the long-term plan is Mo Salah. I'm saying I wonder whether Slot has got a plan, and again it goes back to my 4-2-3-1 to 4-3-3 thing for Klopp, is that he has to build into that new formation. It's probably just me looking at it's too small a sample range to really know if that's the case. But Liverpool have bought to not play Mo Salah. They have.
In the long term.
They have. So it's just whether you need to jump to that. Exactly. So they know. They know there's a month where they can't use him already. And they know traditionally he's probably going to be done in by the back end of the season anyway. Yeah. They've bought lads to play in positions that don't complement Mo Salah's football. So what is he really trying to do, and should he just do it now, effectively?
Yeah, makes sense. Actually, I can tell you what the plan probably isn't: to end games with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch as centre half, or Federico Chiesa as a number 10, or Rio and Gamoa on the wing at the same time as Salah is on the other wing while you've got 4 strikers. That isn't the plan. So he is trying to pivot, isn't he, as best he can. It feels like he's scrambling about, and he doesn't know what the answer is. The team aren't doing exactly what he wants. He's now got injuries. I think there's like 8 players injured, which isn't helping him. And it feels like the manager for the first time he's like, oh my God. Because I asked you that before, and he was like, if you try to pick a Liverpool 11, it's hard at the moment because there's issues that you're not happy about and that maybe aren't ideal solutions. I think at the weekend he did his best to try and go back to as many of the informed players as he could. The Salah Chiesa thing's the only exception to that, really. The lads who you think have been in relatively poor form or whatever, he tried to move away from. So it feels at the moment the thinking's very, very jumbled up. He is just searching for that win or trying to figure out something. And sometimes, you know, it's a bit like when if you're stuck in the water, you meant to just lay down and relax, not paddle, because you get yourself. It feels like Liverpool are paddling and they're getting themselves worse and worse, and Van Dijk's getting himself into fights, and everyone's running everywhere and the hair's on fire. I would like him to, and I would, against Crystal Palace, to move on to it, I would pick the team. I wouldn't rest anyone. I would pick his team, absolutely everyone, and just say, I don't care, but we're losing anyway, so what are we saving them for?
Okay, go on, Sam. Would you? Because this is the inevitable conversation we have it every year, and the variations, generally speaking, of do you give a shit about the League Cup? It's not even that. It's right now. Do we need to continue to play the same lads into some sort of consistency of form, or do you go, fuck, the last thing we need now is yet more footy.
It's injuries.
We need to win a Premier League game. So what I don't want is half the team knackered. I want the best possible way for Villa.
Well, Palace will be playing their third game in 7 days. That's fact. Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday. So they're going to come with some jumbled up team because they can't afford to lose a small squad anyway, 2 or 3 of their key members with the games they were coming up as well. Mm-hmm. So that's the platform we're probably working with. I think the answer to our questions involves a team without Mo Salah. I think he's been that bad, but that's in the long term. But so because of that, and because he didn't play against Frankfurt, I think he's got to start this game. And I think you kind of work backwards from there, because it's like, right, Mo Salah's got to play. Casey and Rio probably going to start. That's probably your front three. And then backwards you go, right, who needs games and who can probably play? And the answer is centre-back's probably both of them, rather than Gomez and both of them. You know, like they used to do with the old 45 minutes, because we haven't got anybody else. I don't think you can use this game as a, come on, let's go and beat Palace's B team and blitz a load of energy, and then you've only got 3 days till Villa, and then you've got Real Madrid, then you've got Man City. Because by the time you get to Real Madrid and Man City, you'll be absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
That's my view anyway.
You, this is the problem you've got, Josh, is it might all come good. Like, you know, and we can go to underlying numbers and all these kind of things that, look, chances are it will all click for Liverpool at some point during the season. You'll find a way to make it work, but you're playing against expectation as well, and you're playing against mood, and those things all of a sudden get in your head. And, you know, the professional athletes, and they'll be better at dealing with it than we would be, but still, it's a thing. And then the crowd gets on top, etc., etc. So actually, Liverpool are in a situation where there's just the pressure of needing to win more football matches. We're not discerning as fans. We will feel well better come Thursday morning if Liverpool have won, no matter how they've achieved it. And then we as fans will worry about what happens at Villa, whereas he's got to manage squad fitness, but also expectation.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, to be honest. I generally am not that arsed about the Carabao Cup, personally. You're in a position where you kind of need to win, but I also think, like, the team that generally wins the Carabao Cup is the team that, just for the first half of the season, has the best depth and the fewest injuries. Mm-hmm. I think it might be Arsenal this season for that reason. So Liverpool are picking up a few injuries of late. Do we need the Carabao Cup with the way we're playing at the moment? I don't think it's a confidence issue either that Liverpool are suffering from. I think obviously that naturally plays a part when you start losing games, but it's not that Liverpool need necessarily a confidence lift to start playing well. I think Liverpool are just a tactical mess. I think that's where the issue is. So if you're going to win this game 8-0, them issues are still going to be there in a few days, just like they were when we beat Frankfurt 5-1 and then we faced Brentford. So I think this could just be a game to get someone like a Gomez up to a bit of match sharpness maybe, and ready for, you know, starting games in the Premier League or something like that. But I don't know. I think experimental-wise, there's not a lot you can test in this game. I don't think that's going to actually play out in the Premier League.
I think with 8 injuries as well, though, but like, and I am including Dan's and Bacchetic in that, but they probably would feature in this game if they were around.
Dan's injured, is he?
Yeah, for a long time. He's out for a while with his hamstring. So it looks like there aren't that many changes, really. I see your point, Sam, on the Palace thing, but they have lost 2 in a row, and in the last round he picked a relatively strong team.
But that was before
I see your point.
It started their Conference League.
Yeah, so listen, they got beaten in Europe, didn't they? And then they got beat at the weekend. So I don't know exactly what Palace are going to do, but I don't know, man. The idea of Gomez and Endo as centre-half against Mateta.
Do you think he starts though, Mateta?
He started last time against Millwall. I don't know.
But again, that was before the Conference League.
I don't know. I can't tell you what Glasner...
But does Oliver Glasner look at this and go,
trophy.
We could win. I could win this.
Can I get us? I don't know what they're going to do. I disagree a bit with Josh. I do think it's a confidence thing. I think they look massively undercooked. There's a few of them. And now listen, if you say, for example, leave a couple of ones out, anyone who's an injury risk or in the red zone, you know, like Szoboszlai probably needs a rest. That's fine. But like elsewhere,
you don't need to play Gakpo, do you?
If the manager's got the courage of his convictions, he will just rotate. He will heavily rotate this team. But it will be telling, I think, if he puts a really strong team out.
I think it's almost a bad sign if he puts a strong team out. That means he's feeling it. I think.
But I think I think he probably is feeling it.
But you don't want him to be. No,
exactly.
Yeah. You want him to be making logical.
I agree. It's difficult because a lot of these performances, by the way, the bad stuff has been away. The Man United one at home, I understand.
But we still should have scored fucking 5 goals.
It's like if Anfield starts feeling a little bit edgy, and listen, I understand it's the League Cup and that, but I've been at League Cup games when managers have been feeling, and it kind of does still translate.
But the Southampton game was a full game of football because we made loads of changes, and it was great to see that somebody great to get a look at Leone, albeit short. But you are excited by the 11, but you always forget. With the trade-off of changing the 11 is that these lads have never played football together in that environment, so you lose something. So the team that has played together, albeit with a lower quality of football, will give you a real football match. So we are kind of stuck in that. You are almost throwing lambs to the slaughter because if Palace do go strong and we have Endo, Gomez, there's talk Calvin Ramsey could be coming out of the cold. Freddie
Woodman's going to be in goal.
Freddie Woodman
no, he's not.
Could be in goal.
Freddie Woodman's in goal.
Apparently so.
Why would you just not play Mamardashvili? He's back in 3 games.
I think they'd play. I think they'll play Mamardashvili anyway. But then what? And then you go from there. What does your team? And your point spot on there, Josh. We always think of it as like. They're like belligerently rotating because they hate the competition, but that's the level it's at. And you're right that you should be able to make 11 changes, and it shows how good your 11 other players are if you then get through the competition.
No chance. The thing should be is just how do we beat Aston Villa, and what do these lads need? If you think the lad needs a rest him. If you think he needs to play into form, play him into form. I think that's kind of how we play everyone on an individual basis. So
bad times for anyone who's going the game on Wednesday, though, by the way.
But like, for example,
I think it's a good game for someone like McAllister, though.
Yeah.
Because he needs.
Or Mo Salah. Like, it isn't the way. Like they've had a little bit of rest and been in and out the team. They just need to. They feel like lads you need to play.
Maybe if you play Salah, it does give you that little thing of like if you want to not play him at the weekend.
Yep.
That's all.
Do you think if you played him, there'd be any elements of upsetting him in doing so?
No, because he missed.
Like, do you think he'd score and do the whole like looking at the bench without smiling type thing and all that stuff? He's done that before, hasn't he?
Probably still Bankers Underground goal bonus or whatever.
Sits on the advertising hoarding, but doesn't face the pitch.
Do you know what, Josh? If he does do that, it'll vindicate Vinicius Hughes and Michael Edwards doing whatever they need to do in the coming transfer windows. He's a team player. Listen, you play for Liverpool, mate. Liverpool doesn't play for you. Yeah. If the manager picks you tomorrow, you've got to go out or Wednesday, got to go out and do your best and win us the game. We need it.
No, I'm just going back to that superstar status.
I know, yeah, but it kind of vindicates any decision we do make if he does do that, though.
He throws it to you. Can I ask you one question? What does Federico Chiesa need to do on Wednesday to start on Saturday?
If he starts Wednesday, he's not starting Saturday, is it?
Very short of like
he could score 7 and he'd be on the bench.
He needs sort of locking up every other forward that Liverpool have at the football club in like in the basement at Anfield.
I bet he plays, I bet he scores, and I bet he's on the bench on Saturday.
I bet he's going to be the best player on the pitch, Chiesa.
And then he won't be on the pitch on Saturday and everyone's heads are going to fall off. It's written already.
Do we know anything about Isak and Gravenberch? Only because he said he wasn't sure about the weekend.
And he's not. Apparently, there's no press conference, so we don't know. We'll just find out when they rock up.
Yeah. Just talking it through. Then, if we're going all change, okay, let's start. Woodman or Mamardashvili?
Mamardashvili.
I'm happy to go Mamardashvili, yeah.
It should be, but I think they're going to go Woodman.
I feel like we've done this before when like Keller has just kept his place.
No, Yaros played last year.
Yeah, but I mean, like before that, like.
No, like last year when Alisson was injured, Yaros played at Brighton away, and we just threw Yaros in.
I reckon Woodman.
That's not what Woodman was bought for.
He's a North West Counties Premier keeper. He's living his best life, and Scott Carson didn't play for City when Ederson was injured. That's what he is.
I mean, at least Scott Carson played in the Champions League. You know? But no, I'm of that. Mamardashvili, there's a benefit to him playing football. Agreed. I think so.
I would pick him.
Left back, Robertson.
Rob Old,
Yeah.
Endo, Gomez.
I go Gomez one centre half and flip it at half time. I just don't think we can afford to put Endo centre back.
I don't think we can have Virgil anywhere near the game, though.
Don't you reckon?
Nah, you can't have Virgil.
I think
near this
Ebru
game.
starts, and I think Endo comes on half time for him, no matter if we're winning or losing.
Okay. Well, let's see how that pans out for other footballers and other parts of the team, because that'll be interesting. So right back, I am desperate for the Calvin Ramsey like turnaround story, by the way.
Let's just do it, why not?
Oh my God, imagine he's good. Imagine he's just like, and here I am 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is on. But he had one like great half against, like, was it like Preston or something in the League Cup 3 years ago? I'm like, oh, I could see a little bit of what he might bring to the team.
It's like that Ian Wright meme, innit? Where he's just like, I thought he was dead.
I hope, yeah, well, we'll see. Get him in. Midfield, if Endo's either centre half or on the bench, then he's not in midfield. So
McAllister in there, definitely. Yeah.
Trey and Yanni.
I don't know who else. That's why I think it might be Endo in there.
Is there any playing Vert into form, though? I mean, when is she playing into form? I think confidence, you were speaking before about confidence, maybe Vert is a player who needs a bit of that.
Yeah, we've run out of options.
Well, this is what I mean. We've got injuries, so like someone.
Do we need Will Hughes kicking Verts? That's what it's going to be.
It feels like it's going to be Verts.
You reckon it'll be Verts?
I can't remember who else it's going to be.
Unless he plays Endo, and then that's the three: Maka, Endo, and
Yanni.
And then Trey and Yanni, and then he does something else at centre back. Look, he might put a kid centre back. Depends how much he cares.
Yeah, and then up front, Rio, Chiesa,
Salah. That's what I'm doing.
When did Salah last play in a domestic cup before like a semi-final?
He's come off the bench a few times.
Did he come on last year against Brighton, or was he not in the squad?
He come on a few times. I remember going to West Ham because I took my lads and he was gutted. He wasn't, and then he come on and scored. So he's usually on the bench, but he didn't play last midweek, so whatever that means.
Yeah.
If it's not him, then Hugo Ekitike starting again. I don't think we want that. I don't think he'd take the chance on Isaac, even if
on
whatever.
The bench, if anything, wouldn't he? Yeah.
So, I mean, Morrison he was on the bench the other day. Like, if you're going really young there, though, if you're asking,
yeah, probably it might be Salah then. You know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll find out, and will it tell us? Will it give us a deep insight into the manager's mindset? We'll have to find out. And as fans, I think, as we say, with the midweek Champions League, I felt so much better about life just because we'd won. Mm-hmm. So look, right now, would I sacrifice a hypothetical decrease in output at the weekend just to feel something positive in my life? Maybe I would, but equally, you could go full strength and still cock it up at the weekend, couldn't you? Even the way we're playing,
Liverpool could play their best 11 on Wednesday and lose. So do what you want. Who gives a fuck, really? I mean,
great, fucking great.
I go back to
all those people who were like, "Oh, thanks so much for being calm, Redmen TV." We've absolutely set fire to that this week.
It goes back to my point of, think of Aston Villa on Saturday. What does every individual player need to be ready for that? Do they need to play or do they need to rest? And do whatever that is, because Liverpool have to, I say win against Aston Villa, not get beat by Aston Villa. That's priority number one now. And we
do need to get into the habit of winning twice a week. I know we could just do with winning once a week, as a regular thing. Let's just get that into the system. But a top team should be able to win midweek and have a couple of changes and then win at the weekend.
And by the way, you could go 4-4-2. If you're worried about your midfield depth, you could just put Isak up front with someone and put Rio and whatever. I don't know, you could do that and then just play. I mean, it's a very attacking. You could go McAllister and Trey in the middle, for example, and put a bit of width on it, just to, because we are down players like that. Curtis' injury the other day has only added to that. Like the squad is stretched. It might be a case where, like you said before, mate, you might just go, listen, this game is whatever, I don't care. Remember when Jurgen started against Leicester with kids then brought the big guns on at half time? He could do something like that. The
McAllister Salah thing's interesting because he clearly wants them to play. He clearly wants them in the team, and he hopes they get back to the level that they were both at last season. If we do, that probably solves a huge amount of our problems. But there is another thing where it just might have moved beyond them for a variety of reasons. If you play them in this game, you kind of get double bubble. You've got the opportunity to play them into form, but you also get the excuse of, well, I played you midweek. You can go back to the bench for the weekend if you need to.
Can I insist in Szoboszlai right back? No, sorry.
Well, he's the one. If someone's going to play another game, it'll end up being him because he can, and that will be to our detriment.
I think he's on the bench. I think what we'll have is a very strong bench. I don't think anybody gets the night off, and they don't deserve it neither. You earn it, and I know slots dislike from the lads I know around the squad. you earn a day off. You win 4-0 at Man United, you get 2 days off. That's what he's like. So they'll be like, they were back in after Chelsea, Palace, they were back in the next day. They'll have been back in. I think you'll see a bench full. He might leave 1-2 at home max, but he'll have them in because you earn it.
Okay. Earn it, lads. Simple message. Just make us feel happy. Again, please, Liverpool. Last week was great. I'm sure you can agree. I'm sure you enjoyed yourselves. Let's win more games of football and smile more. So whatever that means. The good thing is we're not doing this podcast until next week. So, we've got 2 games of football with an opportunity, 2 sets of 90 minutes as an opportunity to make us all feel better about ourselves. So yeah, do that please, Reds. More from us. We are over on Redmen Plus after this show doing the biased football show. That one is always a good laugh, and we will be having something positive to talk about because Man City lost, which is great. Everton lost, as you can hear through the wall. So yeah, we will have some other things, not like those weeks when we lose and everyone else wins. God, yeah, Schadenfreude in a huge way. So yeah, let's make ourselves feel better about ourselves by laughing at teams that we don't like. Come and join us on redmenplus.com.